So, you want to move to Seattle and you're wondering what it's like to truly live here? Well, I'm going to give you 8 reasons why you may not want to move to Seattle. What's up, everybody? This is Tova Williamson, and in this channel, we shoot tons of videos showing what it's like to live in the Seattle area. If you want more of these type of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and make sure you click that bell so you don't miss any of our videos. We honestly get reach outs every single day from people wanting to move here and relocating, and we love getting in touch with you guys and hearing from you. So if you're thinking about moving to the Seattle area, give us a call, text, email, however you want to reach out, and we'll help you on your move. We've got your back when moving to Seattle. So in this video, we're going to talk about 8 reasons why you may not want to move to Seattle. We talk about a lot of the good things moving here. There are some things that maybe aren't ideal or the best that are reasons why some people may choose not to live here. The first one that we're going to talk about is one that we hear a lot about in the comments. It's the big elephant in the room, so we're going to talk about it. It's homelessness. Seattle does have a large homeless population, unfortunately, just like a lot of other larger cities. We have seen the homeless population grow over the years. The rise in homelessness has also correlated with the fair market value of home prices in the area. So there's various reasons why people are homeless, unfortunately, but we are seeing the rise in rent and the rising costs also being a big factor in increasing the homeless population. We do see homeless encampments in the area, a lot of times under freeway passes, in some of the parks, some green space. There are a lot of encampments in the area. The city of Seattle has various ways of dealing with that. They will do sweeps of those areas to remove homeless people from some of those areas. That's not something that's necessarily solving the problem. It's just moving them to somewhere else. So Seattle has to really work on getting the situation under control and helping some of these people that have found themselves homeless. With the rising homeless population, there isn't the funding to help homeless people has not increased as much as the rising population. So there's a budget shortfall also within the city of Seattle and King County to help deal with this homeless population. I have lived here for 13 years. I have never felt unsafe walking around certain areas downtown. I mean, you have to use your common sense sometimes. Maybe don't go down certain areas late at night. But I have never necessarily felt unsafe being near some of the homeless population. So I have volunteered over the years with various homeless organizations, with homeless shelters, handing out food. The Seattle Union Gospel Mission is a homeless shelter that's downtown. They go around most days of the week and they go to the different homeless camps. They hand out clothes, they hand out toiletries, food to people. I've gone out and done that with the Union Gospel Mission. And every time that I've gone out and come into contact with homeless people, they've always been very, very appreciative of us being out there. I think it's something important to remember that these are human beings also and have come down on some hard luck. And sometimes they just need to talk to someone and to be treated like an actual human being. So it's something that is a problem here. Seattle's working on trying to help that problem. I think it's something that if you're worried about that when you're moving to this area, I encourage you to get involved with local homeless shelters. You can go to seattlehomeless.org. That will give different things that you can do to help with the problem. You can volunteer, you can organize a food drive, you can get involved with some of the programs and processes. You can get involved with the Seattle City Council and going to meetings and really voicing your concern for that population. So number 2 kind of goes into what we were talking about before, is the cost of living. It is expensive to live in Seattle. It is, housing prices are on the rise, groceries are expensive, gas is expensive. There are some things, your electricity bill, internet, some of those things tend to be a little bit more in line with the national average. We have a video that goes more in depth about the cost of living in the area, and we talk about different parts, but it is more expensive than most places in the country. With that being said, the Seattle area has a lot of high paying quality tech jobs. So that does contribute to the rising costs here. It is more expensive. You do make a little bit more money than some of the other places in the country. We have a high minimum wage, one of the highest minimum wages in the country. It's $15 an hour. So it's still, if you're making minimum wage, doesn't still really make up for the expensive cost of living, but it makes it a little bit more palatable, I suppose. Number 3 is growing pains. Seattle's just growing really fast. There's a lot of construction here. Roads will be closed when you're driving, certain things. It can be really frustrating navigating parts of the city because it changes all the time. They'll have some areas closed off, some are open. We've seen a lot of really cool local mom and pop places get torn down and have big high-rise apartments and condos built. So it's a little tough. Sometimes you have like that favorite little restaurant, that favorite little mom and pop restaurant, that favorite music venue. And we're just seeing those places disappearing. So it's really unfortunate. So Seattle's just going through those growing pains, and it's trying to figure out how do we prioritize keeping some of these mom and pop places, but then also encouraging growth, which helps the city grow as well. So also with those growing pains, COVID has not helped that situation for some of these mom and pop restaurants too. So we are seeing more things boarded up and closed. A lot of the restaurants in the downtown area, with people working from home, they don't have that workforce that's downtown as much anymore. So they're just really struggling to stay in business. So hopefully by the end of 2021, maybe into 2022, things will start looking up, but it's kind of bleak for some places right now. And that's just something that you kind of have to deal with. If you are really loving your local restaurant or your local grocery store, try to support local as much as you can, because we see those spaces disappearing. Number 4 is traffic. We hear about this all the time. Seattle's traffic is terrible. There's one freeway that runs north and south through Seattle, which is I-5. It gets so backed up. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It just seems like there's always traffic. There's not really any side streets, surface streets that you can go to kind of cut through and navigate. All of the surface streets in Seattle are very narrow. A lot of them, there's only one car can go through, so you've got to pull over and let somebody pass. So traffic just gets really bottlenecked. There's a lot of one-ways here. There's a lot of just roads that are 2-lane, and then they turn into 1 lane turns into parking after a certain time of day. So it's just kind of crazy. The traffic here is really crazy. The roads are really crazy. It can be kind of hard to navigate. We are seeing more public transportation. It's pretty decent in Seattle. There are buses. We've got the light rail. They're expanding the light rail currently to go further north up I-5 and down south on I-5. So that hopefully will relieve some of the traffic congestion. Right now with COVID too, especially, people are not working in their offices, they're working from home. So we have seen a big relief in that traffic lately. But I think, as we move forward, it's going to go back to normal at some point. So just prepared for that. Traffic's not ideal. If you're looking to move here and your work is somewhere and you're going to have to be going into work, that will really kind of affect where you're going to live if you don't want to spend, an hour plus in traffic. Number 5, to kind of go along with traffic, is parking. Parking within the Seattle city limits can be really hard. It just really depends on the areas. A lot of restaurants that are downtown or in some of these more tight neighborhoods don't have parking lots for you to park in. So when you're going out to some of these areas, it's just something to keep in mind, is that maybe it's better to take an Uber or public transportation so you don't have to deal with driving around for 20 minutes to find a parking spot. There's been a lot of apartments that are being built too that don't have parking. So that's only going to add to the congestion on the streets of trying to find parking spots. Some neighborhoods are more notorious than others to have bad parking. Capitol Hill is one of them. I mean, you cannot go anywhere without driving around for 20 minutes trying to find parking. Sometimes you can get lucky. So Just something to keep in mind. Some of the areas that you live in have little zone passes that you can put on your car. If you live in those areas, then you can park in certain spots that are available to zone only. And then people that are just, visiting to go to a restaurant can't park in those spots and take up the residential parking. So there are some workarounds, but parking's rough. So just be prepared for that. Number six, something that everybody knows about Seattle's notorious for its weather. We don't have the best reputation for weather. It's gray here a lot of the times. Pretty much from, I'd say, October to May sometimes. It can be pretty bleak, pretty gloomy, pretty rainy. It's just something that you take advantage. You see that sun peep out, everybody's outside. It doesn't matter if it's cold, you layer up and you get outside and you enjoy that weather because you don't know the next time you're going to see the sun. The summers, though, are really beautiful and amazing. It doesn't really rain that much from July, August, sometimes even September if we're lucky. So that's the time that it's just so amazing to live here. It's really beautiful. The weather can be great. It doesn't get too hot here. We'll have sometimes some heat waves where it gets a little hot, but usually it's pretty mild, pretty comfortable temperature. So you're really not going to have to be sweating it out too much in the summer. One thing too that I like to tell people that are moving here, just plan for it to rain every single day. That's what I do. I just think it's going to rain every day. And then when it's not, I'm happy. So don't expect sun, just expect rain. And then, a good 30, 40 days out of the year, you'll be happy with some sun. Number seven that we see a lot and people talk about a lot is Seattle's passive aggressive nature. So I don't know if it's the rain, this area draws a lot of more introverts because of the weather, and people just don't get out as much. But there is kind of a passive aggressive tone and element here. People are not super up front. I have friends from the East Coast that are just like, they'll tell you what's on their mind, and it's kind of refreshing. Like here, people don't, they'll, stew about it and complain to their spouse, later. But so it's very passive aggressive here. Horn honking is not really a big thing here when you're driving. People don't really honk the horn. It's kind of one of those things to get used to. So if you're a horn honker, just be prepared for that. I mean, I honk my horn still too, so don't worry about it. But it's kind of an interesting dynamic here with some people. I would say don't take it personally. If people are like that, that's just how it is. Don't think it's you. It's just how people are sometimes. So you got to just live your life and try to make friends how you can. So that goes into number 8 is the Seattle freeze. So that's something that a lot of newcomers are told about when they move here. The Seattle freeze is something that people in Seattle are very friendly and polite, but that's about it. They don't ever get too deep. It's really hard to make friends here, some people have said. So it can be kind of difficult for people, especially from some areas where it's really friendly and everybody just talks to everybody. It's not really like that here. I don't know if it's from the weather, if just being rainy and inside a lot has just makes people a little more reclusive and introverted, but it's definitely a thing here. Again, it's not something to take personally. If people aren't super chatty with you, it's probably not you. It's just people are just kind of more introverted here. One thing, there is meetup.com. It's an app that you can download on your phone. There's tons of different activities and things that you can do to meet new people. I suggest getting involved with some of those because that can be a great way to meet new people. And we are seeing more and more people moving here from out of state and from other areas that a lot of other people are starting to get a little more friendly and more talkative with people. So we are kind of seeing that change, but it is a thing. Again, don't take it too personally. One way to kind of break through that rough exterior of Seattleites is to complain about the weather and complain about the traffic, and you'll make friends really easy because that's what Seattleites like to complain about a lot. So there you have it. We've got the 8 things that some people may not want to move here because of. It can be tough moving here, especially trying to find that perfect spot, but that's why we're here to help, to Seattle. But we can only help you if you reach out to us. So give us a call, text, email, anything you want, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when moving to Seattle. Until next time.